Hello, everyone. This is Pamela Topjian, and I recently had my 60th birthday, and so I wanted to come on and talk about some life lessons that I have learned in these 60 years. But in thinking about doing this video and reflecting on what I've learned, I started asking others who are over 50 about life lessons, and I had watched a few videos of people who are older and over 60 talking about different life lessons and regrets that they've had as well. So this is really less about me turning 60 and more about just life lessons as we age. So where to start, there's so many and I won't get to it all here. And I just hope that I can articulate these lessons so that it makes sense. So one thing, avoiding conflict or trying to not or ruffle feathers or trying not to rock the boat, whatever analogy that you like in there, is never really a good idea unless your safety is at risk. What you believe, what you think, your opinions and your feelings matter. Conflict is not a bad thing. So many people are non-confrontational or afraid of conflict. Now, as I said, if your safety is at risk, that's a different thing. But it's okay to sort of have different opinions and to talk about them. You can do this in a friendly way. And if you are feeling that your boundaries are crossed, or you're feeling that somebody didn't respect you or somebody treated you badly, it's a good idea to ruffle the feathers or rock the boat and let them know. It's a good idea. Again, unless your safety is at risk, right? And it's not just for them to understand or to hope that they change. It's more so for your own self-respect. You're showing yourself you have self-respect and self-love, and you care about this person that you are and this person that you are in the world and your life and who you are. They say that we show people how to treat us by what we allow. So speak up for yourself. It's not an invitation to be mean. Being confrontational is not always mean. But for me in my life, keeping quiet has really hurt me. And others have said this too. The main thing to know is when it's the right time and the right place for these important conversations to have, and to check your emotions first. No one will take you seriously if you just blow up at them. But at the same time, others have said that it's best to keep the peace and that some things really don't matter as much as they thought at the time. So that's another thing, is kind of check yourself, get yourself in check, get your emotions in check, and see if this is really worth the confrontation or the potential argument or disagreement. What you have to say matters. How you feel matters. Self-respect matters. But pick your battles, right? Pick your battles. It's okay, everybody's going to be offended at some point in their life. Everybody's feelings are going to be hurt at some point in their life. And that's okay. We don't all have to always agree and be on the same page, right? But if somebody is, like I said, crossing your boundaries or being disrespectful, especially if it's intentional. So sometimes our feelings are hurt and boundaries are crossed and things happen like that. That wasn't their intent. And maybe they need to know that, hey, how you said that really hurt me. And not that I don't expect to not be hurt. It's okay. But I think that it's also a good thing to speak up and let them know. Again, I'm going to say if you feel safe doing so. And, but you don't want to be petty about it either. So I'm just kind of going in circles here. I'm sorry, but I think you get the point. You don't want to go through your life on eggshells. And so much of my life, I had to hold back and I wouldn't let myself speak up and disturb the peace and express myself. So that was a big lesson for me, and that's what I want to pass on to you here. Okay, so another lesson. Don't settle for anything or anyone. This is about knowing yourself well enough, having enough self-awareness to make the choices that are best for you. Don't settle for a job that you're not excited about. Don't stay in a relationship that's not right for you, or even go out on a date that you're not interested in. When people say or hear not to settle, they sometimes think that someone is thinking that they're better than others or too good for this or that or whatever. And my point is more that you should try to be aware of what's the best fit for you and not to settle for less than what is right for you. It's not about being better, but being a good match with, if it's a job, a situation, even a friendship, or any kind of partnership. It's learning to say no when it's not right instead of just going along. That's not showing yourself self-love or self-respect by just going along. I did a whole video on the article, the famous article, F yeah or F no, meaning that if you're not excited about it, if you're not saying yes, then it really should just be a no. And maybe I'll try to remember to link that video below if you want to see that. So be yourself and don't try to hide who you truly are is another life lesson that I feel like it takes so many of us so long to learn this. So it's almost like for the LGBTQ plus community, being in the closet, but there's other ways that you can be in the closet as well. So allowing yourself to be fully yourself. That's the only way that you're going to find those good fits for you, the things that are a good match for you, whether it's people, jobs, situations, whatever it is. Be fully yourself and that you will attract those who are similar. And someone else brought up too that you want to keep your independence. So many people, especially women, we lose our independence in our marriages, in our relationships. And if you join your bank accounts, or if you don't make your own money and you're really relying on somebody else just to live, then you're kind of in a place where you potentially could be just stuck. So keep your independence no matter what's going on. Be your own self. Keep your own ideas, keep your own hobbies and interests and things, even if they're different from your partner's. It's a really good idea. I am in a third marriage now, and this is the best relationship I've ever had in my life. And a big part of that is we do have separate interests and similar interests, common interests, and we are very happy for the other one when the other one gets to carry out or be involved in those other interests. It's not time away from us. We're not selfish in that way. We're happy for you. We're happy for the other one to be happy, right? So keep your own independence, be yourself, and yeah. So this is a big one that I was going to bring up, but others have also said this. So focus on your health early on. So often in our 20s and our 30s, our 40s, we start to think about it maybe, but we think, I'll eat better, I'll exercise better, I'll whatever, do better at taking care of myself once I hit this age or something. Or if I get some symptoms or something, then I know exactly the plan and then I'll do this. You really want to start that early on. Focus on your health, your preventative health, the long-term benefits, like even the basics, like sleeping better, moving more, eating clean, healthier food, staying hydrated, avoiding or eliminating altogether smoking or drinking. All these things for preventative care, for long-term care, for long-term health benefits. And don't focus so much on how good we look. I mean, when I'm thinking about like weight and your body, not to focus on the numbers of what you weigh and what the scale says or what the clothes size is that you're wearing. Focus more on health. How healthy are you? The numbers that you should be paying attention to are the numbers from the labs at the doctors, the blood pressure, your cholesterol. And those are the numbers you want to make sure are in check, not necessarily the numbers on the scale. Now, of course, you know, there's a level of, if you are obese, is your blood pressure up? Is your cholesterol up? Is it having an effect on your joints and your heart and stuff? So those are the things you want to think about more so than how you look. Now, of course, we want to look good, whether we're single or not, whether we're dating or in a long-term relationship or married. It has nothing to do with anyone else, but not to put too much emphasis on how we look, trying to look younger, comparing yourself with 20-year-olds or even yourself at 20 or even 40. So these are some life lessons that I really want to give to younger women. Another great life lesson to carry you into your older years that will have so many benefits is to never stop learning, never stop growing and evolving, and never stop learning about yourself. Continue to ask yourself difficult questions, continue to look inward and take an inner journey, right? Always. Continue this as long as you can, as long as you have breath. And it's okay that if what you thought was right for you or what you agreed with and how you felt about things 2 years ago doesn't seem to fit anymore. It's okay to change your mind and to grow out of something or someone. Someone else mentioned about friendships. Not just relationships, but relationships too, but also just friendships and jobs and everything. But as we grow and evolve and become really like more ourselves, grow into ourselves, evolve into more of ourselves, some of those friendships, some of those relationships are going to change, and that's okay. That's okay. And another life lesson is to really enjoy the small things. Some of the little things that you might think are frivolous or meaningless. If you smile at them, they make you feel a little bit of joy. You don't need to justify it or explain it. Just let yourself take that time and to take it in and feel that joy. It's okay if it's just a pretty little dandelion growing in between the cracks of a sidewalk. If it makes you smile, if you love that color yellow, if you can admire the tenacity, you know, allow yourself. Don't think it's frivolous. Any of the flowers, I love flowers. Let yourself enjoy the flowers. If you see a picture of a little dog or a kitten, if it's just so cute and it makes you smile, don't feel like it's too frivolous. If you have some little collection of something that nobody understands, it's okay. You don't have to justify it. Brings you joy, allow that into your life. Now, this one's a little more serious. So, if you've had any trauma in your life, and most of us have, especially by the time we hit 50 or 60 and beyond, spend some time, put some serious effort into healing that. And it might be deep down, and you don't want to poke that bear or bring it up again, but it will affect you at some point. And most likely, it already is, whether you realize it or not. Do what you need to do to process through whatever traumas you have been through. It can be therapy, counseling, EMDR, hypnotherapy, or something else from any kind of practitioner. It doesn't have to just be traditional, typical therapy or counseling. Those things are very, very helpful, definitely. But if you have been through a lot of that and you don't feel like you've gotten the results that you were looking for, I've said it many times, but you have to have patience and diligence to find the right fit for you when it comes to your healing. And I'm going to bring this up here. I have a podcast, Holistic Connections, Conversations with Holistic Practitioners. There's a playlist in this channel, and it's also on podcast platforms. Many different holistic practitioners sharing what they do in their own words. So there's a lot of different methods and modalities there that will also help you. But take care of the trauma. Take care of it. Even if you think Oh, it's been so long. Oh, it's not affecting me. Yeah, now's the time. Now's the time. So I know somebody in their 80s who still feels some guilt about things in their life, and it just makes me so sad to think they're in their 80s. They're not even thinking about going for therapy, anything like that. It would be nice to be at that time in your life and feel like, oh, I've at least tried to work on and process through any trauma or any guilt or any shame or anything that happened that I kind of buried deep. So you don't want to be in that place at that time in your life. So take care of it. And no, it's not going to be fun, but the benefits will be good afterwards. So a big life lesson that I learned, a huge life lesson that I learned, is to never give up hope. So many people have felt or feel stuck in whatever their life situation is, whatever's holding them down or holding them back. Even if you can't see a way out, even if you don't know the steps to take, you don't know your next move, even if you can't see that, even if you can't see a pinpoint little bit of light at the end of that dark tunnel, hold on to that hope. There is always hope. Life is always changing. And we often think about, oh, at any moment something terrible can happen. But the exact same thing is true for at any moment something wonderful can happen. So just hold on to that hope. Please hold on to that hope. Hope has gotten me through. Hope is the reason I'm still here. So in my life personally, it has saved my life to hold on to hope. And knowing that people have been through horrific things and come out of it on the other side is proof that it can happen. So if you need proof, read some of those memoirs, read some of those autobiographies, listen to, there's podcasts that people talk about the trauma they've been through and how they've healed through it. So watch or listen to some of those or read some of those books. There's a lot of them out there. One good way, I think, to sort of switch that in your mind from feeling so stuck is to start thinking in terms of what is this situation trying to show me in the bigger picture? What is this trying to teach me? What have I learned through all of this? I think that that really helps to kind of switch, flip a switch in your mind a little bit as you're going through it. So I hope that this has really been beneficial to somebody. And if you're watching this and you've watched to the end and you're not subscribed, please subscribe. And if you have other life lessons that you've learned along the way, share them with us. Share with others. Let people know what they can look forward to, how they help them get through things, what we should all know in our 30s and our 40s and beyond, what people over 50 and 60 and beyond have learned through their life. I think those are so important to listen to. And if you're younger and you're watching this, feel free to ask questions, not just to me or on here, but to any of the people who are over 50, over 60. Ask them those questions. They'll be happy to share with you most of the time. And I just want to say that since I started this by saying I recently turned 60, so it's June, my birthday's in June, I turned 60. Also, in June is our wedding anniversary. Also in June, not so great, but my sister, my eldest sister was killed in a car accident. It was June. My daughter was born in June. And I mentioned my podcast earlier. I just today recorded the 100th episode. So yay! So thank you all so much for being here. I really appreciate you. And if you have a topic that you would like me to discuss, whether it's about health, whether it's something more personal going on with me, or whether it's about holistic health, mental health, self-care, or diving down some rabbit holes with some philosophical questions or meaning of life type questions, I'm so happy to do it. And I love getting your suggestions. So thanks again for being here.